So the question is steps to take when you're entering a new global market. Um, so I start by assuming I'm not nearly as smart as I think I am and talk to people who actually live there. Um, and in particular, having done it for a while now, I'm now aware of some things to ask questions about and to worry about. Those are, at least in the technology and internet sector, stuff like privacy laws, which can be radically different by country. The Germans are incredibly worried about privacy. As best I can tell, the Chinese government is really worried about content. They've actually blocked Wikipedia as of a few weeks ago. So knowing the right questions to ask around what are things like that to be worried about, in terms of legal or regulatory, are a big part of it. And then I think there's the cultural aspect of just how do people use these things, and different people have completely different perspectives on how things should be used. I'm trying to think of a good example. I mean, I go to the supermarket in France, and the supermarket has, wine, because that's perfectly normal there, but it's not perfectly normal here. So, we have wine sales on eBay France, but we don't in the US. So cultural mores, how people behave, but, I just get out and I talk to people who are in whatever sector I'm going to go to, and I say, if I was a dumb American coming over to France, what are the 5 things I'd need to know? And people in your industry will also know. So, I'll talk to somebody else. I'm looking at travel as an area for guides. So I called up a travel site and I said, hey, what do you guys do? And what should I watch out for? If anything, my answer is go talk to smart people and try to become a little smarter. When you're opening a new office in a new country, sort of what are the first 5 steps or something like that? Yeah, and I go back to, a little bit of the same answer. I start by talking to some people from there. So, I opened offices in Poland, Singapore, Hong Kong, a few other places. And I started by calling up people I know from school who are Singaporean and Polish and going, okay, what's it like over there? What should I do? What should I worry about? So that's step 1. Step 2 is I actually go and meet with the government. So I met with the Singaporean government. I met with the Polish government. Every government has an office for foreign investment who would love to talk to you because you're going to bring them jobs and a factory or an office or whatever. So they love to talk to you, and they have all the answers to most of your questions. And in particular with eBay, because we didn't put factories down, I had this really cool opportunity because I would go into them and I'd say, hey, I'm the only guy you're going to meet this month who doesn't want a subsidy. I don't want, a land subsidy. I don't want a labor subsidy because, we're going to hire like 4 people. What's the point? I'd love 2 things from you. I'd love advice, you to be able to pick up the phone or answer my emails when I have dumb questions. And I'd love for you to help me figure out who in government to talk to over time to explain to them that we're good and not bad, right? And sort of establish up front that we're actually good people and, because in our case, we do have a lot of regulatory issues. In China, you can't sell, not China, in India, you can't sell tiger skins, right? In the US, you can't sell wine. In Germany, you can't sell Nazi stuff. Every country has their own sort of issues, and we inevitably get yelled at for it. And so one of the things we really do is we try to go in and say proactively to the right people, hey, we're good, and we want to work with you, and we're available. So I love the foreign government offices that help with that, and every country has one. And then I go hire one person who's from there because they're the ones that actually have the credibility to get stuff done, and I'm just the ugly American. That'd probably be my 3 things I start, in every country. And I guess if I had one more, I go and I read a lot of macro data. So there's the CIA fact book, World Bank data. You can get a lot of data about technology, population, income, stuff like that from a variety of public sources, which is fabulous when you're trying to decide which country to go to.